Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, and for everyone who's new here, hi, my name's Lara and welcome, I'm glad you found me. Today I'm going to do the monthly wrap-up of my finished pages for the month of May, so please ignore that I wrote April up here and down here. I made this page, this double page spread at the end of April for May, and I totally forgot that I should write May on this. So I'm sorry for that, but in general, the final stats for this month are books I colored in 25 and the pages I did in this 25 books accumulated to 55. So I did a whole bunch this month, and I don't think that a month like this will occur in the next few, so this is a very big month. So I'd say let's start. First of all, I'm going to show you the non-color by number books because these are only a few. First of all is this little pocket-sized book called Creative Malbuch für Erwachsene, or Coloring Book for Adults. I finished a whip in here, and it's just a little flower wallpaper I did with my Staedtler colored pencils. Next off is Miniature Enchanted Forest by Johanna Basford, and I just did the title page with some fine liners and some normal felt tip markers, mainly to test the paper, and sadly it ghosts and bleeds a whole lot, so due to the fact that this is a double page spread book, I will only color with coloring pencils from here on in this book. Next is the pocket-sized book I Heart or I Love Elves, and I did 2 pages in here. The first page is this little ornament page. I did this with alcohol markers and did some little tiny embellishments with some metallic gel pens. Nothing too special. And the second page I did is the last page in this book. And originally I didn't want to do this page, but due to the fact that I'm always taping and securing my edges of the book so that the paper doesn't fray, or the cardboard, sadly I taped over the edge of this picture, and I wanted to know if I can still color it without a problem. Luckily that was possible, so I did this page to see if everything would turn out fine, even if a little bit of the paper is missing. The next book is one of the books I got this month, and I totally fell in love with it, so you can see I did a whole bunch in here. And I have to say the I Heart or I Love series has so beautiful paper. You can work, as far as I tested it, with watercolors and acrylics, and this paper doesn't even get wavy. So the first page I did is this one with these little raccoon creatures, and I outlined them all in blue so that it doesn't look this uninteresting. The second page, or the first page I did, but the second page in the book, was this pond picture with these two little cuties, and the background is made in acrylic paints. And I colored the picture itself with alcohol markers and shaded just a little bit with my polychromos. The third page, you have already seen in another video of mine. If you watched it, I used it as an example for something I explained. These are the two rainbow balloon unicorn cats, and most of it is made with alcohol markers. The background is with colored pencils and blended with a colorless alcohol marker, the colorless blender number 0. And I shaded again with a little bit of polychromos, did a little bit of white with gel pen. So yeah. The next page is a black background page. A little space adventure with this little bunny. Nothing special to say about that, still made that with alcohol markers. Then a very simple page. I just wanted to throw some color on a page while working, or more like in a break while working in the home office, so I did this one, very simple. The next page are the unicorn corgis, however you want to call them, just a little wallpaper type. I did this one with normal felt tip pens and fine liners, due to the fact that the lines are so thin that I think even on a paper like this the alcohol markers would bleed over the lines, and I didn't want that. Ah, come on. The next page is this little penguin on the drum set. Shaded this a little bit again, and I outlined the penguin himself with white gel pen because I still wanted to do him black, but I didn't want him to just sink into the page and not getting notified, because he's really cute. Next page is another wallpaper type. I was very confused to see rainbows in space, but hey. I did this with alcohol markers too, and the UFOs got a little bit of metallic gel pen. I don't know if you can see it. And the last page in this book is right here, and I did the little kitties in the teacups. Again with a little bit of white gel pen. Nothing too special. Yeah, and that was it for that book. The last non-color by number book is Soulmate by Hannah Carson, and I showed this page as an example too, although I don't remember in which video right now. And I did the scorpion lady with some acrylics for the hair and the eyebrows, and the rest is colored with polychromos, colored pencils. I shaded this one a little bit too. And I started the scorpion, but I am still looking for some more acrylics that will fit to the scorpion in her hair, because of course I want to make both of these match. So yeah, this is a whip that eventually will get finished next month, I guess. Next up are the smaller color by number books, and we are starting with Kira Sneva's Mandala Mosaics color by number. I did 4 pages inside this book, and like I said, I had a little bit of a thoughts thinking process, so I started this from the back. So we have this page here. Everything colored with alcohol markers in this book. Then we got this page. This one. And last but not least, this one. I'm mainly using this book at the moment because of the color range they give you on the back, to use up some older alcohol markers that fit with the color palette very well. So yeah, I really like to use this book for that. And every time I get outside the lines, because I don't want to color them, mainly because of the black that's used in these pictures, I have a little handy, let me look for it, white Pit Artist pen. It's not a 100% coverage, but for little bleedings this is almost perfect because it has a brush tip and can get really thin lines done. So this is my, oh no, I bled outside the lines marker. Next up we have Square Mandalas Animal Patterns by Belba Family, one of their 3x3mm square books, and I did the first page. The cute little bird. And yeah, I colored this one solid. I just wanted to know how good this looks. I didn't do it as up to this point in any Belba Family books, so I just did one in solid colors. And I like it, but I think for the Belba Family books, especially for the square books, I will still use the cross stitch or X method. I like this more. Next up is Party Patterns by Belba Family, the book I think I got the most done in from all Belba Family books. I'm over half done with this, and I did the birthday page just with some connector pins from Faber-Castell. I have a little set that I use to do these, so yeah. Next up, Dots, Lines and Spirals Coloring Book by Jennifer Rowling, or Bright Ideas Paper Publishing. And like I said, I have a backwards printed version too, so I think maybe this is even a lefty book. And I did this with a little black permanent marker. It's a spiral of a cute cat with a bow. So yeah. And the last of the little books is Pixel Mandala, another 3x3mm color by number book. Reminds me of Belba Family's books, but just with mandalas. And I did the second page in this book. I'm almost always working from back to the front in those books, so I don't switch around too much in these kinds. Next up are the bigger color by number or one color books, and I'd like to start with a little map of mine because I printed 2 of the PDF versions of Kira Shishneva's books, and one of them I already bought, and it's the Tetris book, but still I did something in here before I bought it. Sorry for the glare. I did the first page and the third page, and I did 2 pages in the mystery spots by her too, the igloo, and the first page of this little lion or tiger baby. So yeah. Next up would be Dots, Lines and Spirals, American Horror Stories. I did 1 page in here. And I did Twisty the Clown in permanent marker too. I really like the fact that this book is sorted by the types of images. So you got all the dots grouped, all the lines grouped, and all the spirals grouped, and I really think this is something cool. So this is one of the exceptions. I don't go from the front to the back. But hey, I really like it. Next up is Horror Creatures, Dot Lines and Spirals, and I visited the doctor and got one spiral finished while I was there. And it's the monster with the eyes in his hands from Pan's Labyrinth. Personally, I think this is a very, very cool movie, and I watched it multiple times already, and yeah. Got one whip in here too. I started at the doctor's office as well, but shortly after I started, I was able to go into the doctor's room. And this will be Annabelle, as far as I can tell, the doll from the Conjuring movies. Next up is Color by Number Mandalas by Jade Summer. And I did a few pages in here you may have already seen because I showed this book in a previous video and showed the pages. But in general, I did these pages in May. Like I said, alcohol markers everywhere. I just love my alcohol markers and I really try to use them everywhere I can. But why not? I mean, if I like to color with them, why shouldn't I? This was a picture or a page I did for my coloring TMI tag, and sadly, I don't know if some of you noticed in the video, I forgot to put a blotter page inside and behind this page. So the next page turned out a little funky. I still wanted to color it because I don't like wasting stuff. So it has some funny bleed marks and some white to cover the stuff that went outside of this mandala. Oh, there's one more. Yeah, the one I showed in the video I did already too. So yeah, that was it for this book. Next up is Beautiful Patterns, Color by Number by Jade Summer. And I did the first page in here too. What I thought was really odd in this book, the mandala book, the front matches the first page. So I was very confused when it wasn't like that in this picture. Not that I think it turned out ugly or anything, but with the books of Jade Summer, you really have the occurrence that the front cover matches the page it resembles, so yeah. And the next one by Jade Summer, adult coloring book, Color by Number Christmas. And I did a few pages in here, including the first one. And I cheated a little bit with this one. I did the inside of this mandala or pattern page in black because they wanted to get the number 4, so this yellow inside of this, and I was like, no, all of this looks so colorful and the little light bulbs and stuff, so I didn't want to do it in a yellow. And there is enough yellow in this page, like, you know, the Jade Summer Color by Number books, I guess. They always have many yellows in their pages, so I didn't want to use this for the middle and made it black. Next up is the page with the little ornaments. This was the first page I did in this book. One page of some delicious cookies for Christmas. And the last page I did was the mailbox page. Next up we have Sachin Sachdeva's 50 diamond mandalas, and I did a few in here too. Let me take the blotter pages out real quick. And as far as I know, I'm working from front to back in here too. Yeah, I did the title page with a little bit of metallic gel pens and some glitter pencils, felted pens I have. And I worked from the front to the back in here. Sadly, I chose a wrong blue tone and went over it with another blue tone again, and I did a little mistake, but in the grand scheme I think it still looks good, so I at least try to make my mistakes symmetrical. But yeah, I think it's good looking nonetheless. Next up, this page. Then we have this page, and most of this page was done with my new alcohol markers I'm showing in my haul video for the month, so stay tuned for that. I try to upload them nearly at the same time, maybe with a day of difference between. And the one I did for my dog decides what I'm coloring with video. My dog chose my coloring supplies and embellishments for this page, and according to his choices, or according to which of the treats he wanted first, I did this page. The next book is again by Jennifer Rowling, or Bright Ideas Paper Publishing, and it's the cartoon characters color by number Mosaics. And I did page number 5, Hercules. And what I think was very sad in this case, I don't know why especially this marker behaved that way, but as you can see, the black is super duper shiny and reflective on this paper, even though the brown I used and the red I used were from the same set of alcohol markers, so I don't know why the black behaved this way, but all in all it still looks okay. Next up, one of my favorites at the time, Kira Shesneva's Flower Stained Glass color by number, and I'm working in this from the front to the back too. What I really think gives this pages a super good look is that the whole page around is black also, so you really have the feeling of looking at a stained glass picture at this moment, and I really like this. So this is the one I colored in most recently, did this page and the next page yesterday. And for the moment, that was it in this book, but I am pretty sure that a few pages will get to the colored ones in the next month. Next up, like I said, Kira Shesneva's Color by Colors Tetris. I really liked the PDF version and wanted to buy this, so I started with a picture I didn't do. And it was the little lamb and the flowers. So I, like you already saw, I did this one and the next page after this. So I wanted to do one I didn't do with the PDF version and chose this one. Oh goodness, I'm sorry. Little shaking problems. Next up, an older book in general, but I got it fairly recently because, let's be honest, it looks so cool and I want to get the mermaid one too. World of My Stained Glass Color by Number by Sun Life Drawing. That was the name. Worked from the front to the back in here too. Chose a little bit too light of a number 6 in the first picture and had some problems finding a right magenta tone for me, but in the end it worked out, I guess. Did the cereals page. The next one. And last but not least, the fourth one, with some bedtime stories, I guess. Yeah. The next book, the 3-color series, Animals and Birds by Belba Family. Did one page in here, besides dogs, my absolute favorite animals, chameleons. I don't know what it is, but I love these little critters and I want to have a chameleon too. I am already planning because these creatures are so incredibly fatigued. You can't have their terrain a goddamn degree too cold or too hot, and the moisture in the air has to be perfectly right. So I wanna get this plant a 110% before I even think of buying the animal itself. So it will be a long ride till I really have one little critter moving in here. Next up is Mosaic Art Vacations, color by number by Sachin Sachdeva. And I did the first 2 pages. This one. And sadly, I let a marker fall down and it hit the sky, but it's not that big of a deal, I guess. And the next page, a little canoeing trip. And we are down to our last book, another very old book in general. And due to the fact that I did the mystery spots, I was like, let me do one in my actual book I have by Sun Life Drawing. And I did the squirrel. Changed colors pretty quickly because I noticed the marker was running out, so I have a few brown dots down here and decided for another color for the rest of the picture. So yeah. And like I said, a big finished pages video for this month. I don't think that I will reach this amount of pages in the next month due to the fact that I'm doing another little craft in the moment and I'm planning to do a video on that too. So if you like other little adventures along the crafting or more like coloring experience, stay tuned for that. I'm giving you a little sneak peek, I'd say. It has to do something with scratch art. So if you're interested in that, I would really like you to tune in the next few days, up to a week. You will see something with that. If you liked the video, I would really appreciate a subscription or a like. If you have any questions or suggestions, leave them down in the comments. I'm really glad to hear from you and I would really like to get to know each other down in the comments. So if you want to say something, I'm really glad to hear from you. Please understand that with this amount of books and this amount of pages, I am not going to link the coloring books themselves, but like always, if you have a question or need a link, you can always hit me up here in the comments or on Instagram and I will gladly provide it to you via a comment or via an Instagram DM, so no worries there. If you see something, just hit me up and I'm providing you the link. So that was it for this video. I'm going to film the haul itself for this month. This is something I want to do too. And I hope you are all staying safe, staying healthy, had a great weekend that is ending very soon, in a few hours to be exact. Sadly, they are always flying by. So, like I said, I hope you liked the video, and for you, as always, you should have the best day you could ever have. So,